are here. I don't have to Hi. Hi. Are you still seeing me? Is this worse for you guys? Is it okay?
We're good.
Okay. Hi, I'm Laura. What's going on? I love the light. So what do you guys want to do? Just hang out? Should I like answer some questions or something? Do you guys have questions for me? All right, cool. If you have a question, raise your hand. You're first. And then if you want to, you can go to that fabulous microphone so everybody can hear you, but I'm thinking everybody can hear you.
I love you in Shin-Chan. It's my favorite.
Thanks.
So, there's like over 900 episodes in Japan. Is there any chance y'all ever dub anymore?
I don't think so. I don't think so because I live in California now. So if they did, they might. It would be very hard. Plus we had like this fabulous group of writers come together for, well, the first season that was like the writers on Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I know, right? They came in and did that, and then the second season we just had our like awesome writers at Funimation. But the actual creator of Shin-Chan passed away. I'm gonna stand. That's better. The actual creator of Shin-Chan passed away, and when he was alive, he kind of was cool with us going off on the show, and like they said that we could take the animation, as long as we kept the characters consistent, we could kind of just interpret the animation however we wanted and make the show into what it was. And then once he passed away, they got a lot more strict with what they were willing to let us do. So the show was kind of plateaued on that. So.
Oh, I'll always love what we had.
Oh, we had a beautiful time together. I love you forever. Next question. Yes, you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there. Okay, in Saints Row,
Yes.
the character you played actually had like 6 or 7 different potential voices.
Yes.
Now, did you do anything to make yours stand out, or did they tell you this one's going to be a little different somehow, or different script writing, or?
No, actually, okay, so that game was awesome because he would write to our personalities. So, like, once we did the first couple sessions, Steve, who was our voice director and our writer on the show, and he was just amazing. So I had a tendency to, are there any small kids in here? Because we're talking about Saints Row. I have specific cuss words that for some reason while I'm recording come out, and I don't understand why. Like, instead of just saying, shit, you know, it'll be like, fuck me running. For some reason, that's what I say when I screw up a line, and he wrote that into my character, and which was awesome. And then things like Mimosa Monday or something that we ended up putting in Saints Row when we were the president. That was something we actually did when we were recording. We would have Mimosa Mondays. So we declared that in the game too, which was awesome. And then, you know, Troy Baker played the male default 1 voice, if you will. And he did most of the bass recording in Saints Row the 3rd. And so when we would go into cinematics, we would match his timing, but we'd have to like put our own personalities on the timing that he already did. And Troy is a phenomenal actor, and sometimes I think that he intentionally will screw with a line just to screw with everybody else. So if the line was, you know, like, will you get over here? He would be like, will you get over here? And then we have to match that stupid timing. So every person, and I had it easy because I had an American accent, but other people had like a Russian accent or, you know, like a Hispanic, and they had to like match that. It was very fun. But on the 4th, when I was the president, I laid down the bass track, so I'd intentionally screw up the timing so that Troy would have a hard time with it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, second row.
So I know I'm not the only one here who knows you mainly from Critical Role.
Yeah, Critical Role!
Final battle next week. Get ready.
Oh my God.
So
sweating. I literally started sweating.
I asked the same question at Travis's panel yesterday.
Okay.
So the same question for you. When the new campaign comes along, can you give us any hints on what type of character you're gonna play?
What did he do?
I don't. He said he's going to be. Yeah.
He did?
He hinted that he's probably going to play either cleric, paladin, or some form of caster.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because we're an intimate group in here, with the camera running, I see it. So I want to be a cleric, okay? I was like, I'm gonna be a cleric. I created this whole character. I'm gonna be a cleric. And then Travis was like, hey, I'm thinking about being a cleric. And I was like, Travis, I already told you I was gonna be a cleric. He's like, yeah, but I don't see, I think I'm gonna be a cleric. I was like, okay, you be the cleric, because like, that's cool. I'll make up another character. So then I made up another character, and then as soon as I came up with that one, he was like, well, that looks like a fun class. He's like, I'm thinking I might do that one. I'm like, Travis Willingham, you stop it. So I am literally waiting on him to make his damn decision before I can set my character. Because if he's not going to be a cleric, then I'll be a cleric. But if he is a cleric, then I have another one that I can't tell you. I know, but I do want to have spells. I will say that much.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, with the camera. Dun, 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 dun. Hi.
This is the gender bend lost that talked to you yesterday.
Yes, I remember.
Yay. So, if there's any voice actors that you have never gotten to work with that you would love to work with, who would those be?
That I've never worked with. I worked with a lot of people. I would have said Mark Hamill, but I worked with him now.
When did you work with him? What did you work with him on?
I worked with him on the regular show, which was on Cartoon
Yeah,
Network.
what was that like working with him?
Amazing. Just like the most amazing thing ever. It was right before the new Star Wars was announced. So, he, I'm sure, was like so excited and didn't say anything. Like, nobody knew. And then another time I ran into him at another studio, but I didn't say hi because I was too shy. But he was walking down the hallway and I was walking the other direction, and we had one of those moments, and it was so amazing. Yeah. I don't know.
Did you ever get to work with Ashley Butch or Taylor Strong on anything?
Oh yeah, I worked with both of them a bunch. And I love both of them. They're amazing. Amazing people, amazing actors. Yeah, and Ashley has been on Critical Role.
Oh yeah.
So, that's even better. And then she won an Emmy. So, I don't know if you see the correlation there, but there definitely is. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, you in front. Sure, yeah, why not? Because it's fun, right?
Okay, first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming to Atlanta, because I've been waiting forever to meet you and Travis, so it's awesome. And also, happy late anniversary, since you posted on Twitter.
Thank you.
That was really sweet.
6 years, y'all.
Yep.
And also, this is kind of more of an anime type related question.
Okay.
If you had to be in any like show or like universe that you voiced a character in, you don't have to be your character, just like in that universe, which one would you like to choose?
Fruits Basket. Oh my gosh, and then it turns into animals. Was that a lame choice? Because it's basically our world, just like one little pocket of cool. I would want to know them and hug them. Thanks. Yes. You're next. Yes.
Pardon me. ever miss working on the Blaze Blue series? I know that the last game didn't have an English dub. What was it like when you found that out, and what was your favorite moment dubbing from those games?
Oh gosh, my favorite moment. Oh geez, it was so much fun to get to play such a weird character that fought with like myself basically. So that's always fun when you get to go back and forth with your own dialogue, you know, because you control the conversation completely. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I didn't realize that there was a project that we didn't get to dub. But now I'm sad.
Arxis is just being lame.
That's right. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm short. So, first of all, I just want you to know I started crying when you and Travis announced you were coming to Atlanta. Yeah. I was so excited. So, two questions. Do you think, because I haven't played season 2 yet of Telltale Batman, or Poison Ivy?
What am I going to give you spoilers or something? No?
Okay, then, so when you can answer, since I know you love the quarter elves so much, do you have names picked out for the little Derola babies?
I can't do that yet. I can't go there.
But do they have lots of kids or like none? Because Percy had a big family.
I think he'd want to I don't know. I'm thinking like 2. 2 kids.
2 or 7?
2 or 7, either one. Oh man, I can't come up with 7 freaking names.
You'd be surprised. Some of us have like 40 D&D characters.
Your name is Titty Sprinkles. Your name is Chalupa. Your name is... Thank you.
You guys were so cute at the beginning of Talks Machina, by the way.
What?
When you guys came in for Talks Machina, you guys were so cute with the flowers.
Oh, wasn't that adorable? It's so fun coming up with those little skits every single time before the show. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You. Yes.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
I got a 2-part question, nothing extensive. But the first one is, if you have to do voice work that's outside of California, do they pay for airfare? It's just one of those really weird questions I've always wondered. And the second thing is, have there been a notable project that you've worked on where they called you and you didn't have to audition for it?
Yeah. Both. I'll answer the first one. Yes, they fly you for the most part. When I first moved out to California, I still had to work at Funimation in that first little bit. They didn't, but it was understandable because I had shows that I had been working on and all of a sudden I was gone, so it was my responsibility to come back and finish that recording. But now if there's a project that records in another city, then yeah, they'll pay for travel. And then the second one is, yes, I'm very, very grateful that there have been a couple of projects that they've come to me directly and asked if I would work on it. I'm trying to think if there's any that are out that I can talk about. No? But there's a really cool one coming up that I would love to tell you about, but I can't. Yes. Yes, you in the front and then you in the second. I thought those were roller skates for a second. Hi.
Hi, so, I guess your role as Sana in Child's Toy?
Yeah, Kodacha. Woo!
I was listening to that a lot. I'm just wondering, like, when it gets so fast, how do you breathe? Like,
how do you breathe? You don't. You basically don't breathe. No, I had so much sugar in my body when we were recording that show. So much Red Bull. And I would just go in and it was for the most part, Colleen, who was my roommate at the time, was directing it. And we would just have these really long recording sessions where we would like crack up and make all these jokes and everything. But the hardest part is that because we were roommates, she would hold me to like a higher standard and she would make me do those long paragraphs of just like, and if I messed up towards the end, normally you can just like pick up and they'll like splice it together, you know, but Colin's like, you can do it. Do it again. And so I would have to do the whole paragraph all over again. Yeah, it was just craziness. Sometimes they would just write it to where they would say like the first couple sentences of a rant and then literally put Sonic keeps ranting in parentheses. I was like, yeah, but I have to say stuff. And so I'd have to just like make up random things to start saying in the background. So sometimes I'm just like completely ad-libbing. Popcorn head, I think, was one of the ad-libs. You can do it. Nobody breathe. Okay.
So I'm now shorter.
I like your hat.
Thank you. I like it too. This isn't really a question because I don't seem to have questions. I just have statements most of the time.
I'm prepared.
When it comes to talking to you, for some reason. But I just wanted to say that I've enjoyed you yelling at me in Diablo 3 whenever I'm saying, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that yet. I have no, now I've forgotten what kind of resource.
No more mana?
Yeah, it's either discipline or vengeance. And it's for the demon hunter, so I'm like, Laura and I have we've battled demons together. So yeah, we're like besties now.
I'm not the demon hunter in the first part of Diablo 3. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, really? You're doing it right then. Yes. You look beautiful.
Okay, so this is kind of spoilery-ish for Critical Role.
Oh, no.
But, okay, so, like, number one, how does it make you feel to know that all the living Dorolos have killed a certain member of a certain evil family?
It feels so good!
And then, did you ever think that Vex would get to the point in her character development and growth that she is now, where, like, all the things that, like, upset her or, like, she obsessed over at the very beginning are just, like, minor little details that they're kind of like there.
Isn't that so crazy?
It's so cool.
No, I never thought it would go there. Like, we just had no concept of where the show would go or where our characters would go or where the story would go. And I know Matt, I'm sure, had this grand vision in his head, but none of us realized it could ever be what it is. And so when I created Vex, it was just this little, like, this sounds like a fun thing to do. And then the more you play, the more, like, the little quirks that they have, like, keep coming out, and then the backstory that you made up, like, makes sense with these random quirks. But to be able to grow with that character has just been so freaking insane. Like, anytime I think about it, I'm just blown away. It's so freaking awesome. And it's so much fun to get to have that kind of experience with your best friends, and then to get to share that experience with this amazing community of people that share that experience with us. It's just so phenomenal, and I could never have grasped that it would go there. It's so great. Yes. You are raising your hand and looking around. Yes.
First off, actually, y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Do it!
I have a real loud voice.
Yes, you do.
God bless me with good lungs. First off, I'd like to say you were my favorite voice actress. I have a male and a female one. The other one's male, one's Jim Cummings.
That's a very good choice. I don't deserve to stand next to him. But thank you.
Well, you voiced Shane, I'm proud more.
Yeah!
So, big old book. I have a generic question for you.
Okay.
And also, just to make everyone glare daggers into me, I've never heard of Critical Role before.
Never watched it.
It's okay. It's okay, because now you can explore it and experience it.
Most generic question ever. What's the favorite character of a video game that you have voiced?
Oh, that's really hard.
I have another one.
Okay.
If you want.
Okay, give me that one too. Hit me.
All right.
Don't really hit me.
What's it like working with Blizzard for the voice acting?
Oh, Blizzard is amazing. Working with them is always freaking so much fun because they are so invested in the story. And whenever you go in for the sessions, they'll spend the first 15, 20 minutes of the session just letting you know, because, you know, we've been with these characters for so long, letting you know where in the story it is, the mind space that Jaina's in that place, you know, where she's just come from. And, you know, we'll get to have this, like, awesome discussion about, of the exact mindset of what's going through, who she's thinking about as she's delivering these lines. Which, you know...
Calicos.
Exactly. And so it's just, they're just so giving in that respect. And they're always coming up with new fun things, you know, like Jaina in World of Warcraft. And I also get to be Jaina in Heroes of the Storm, and Jaina in Hearthstone, and Jaina in all these other projects that they always like pull like little aspects of her personality for the different franchises. And I think that's a really fun thing because then it doesn't feel so like doing the same character for so long. And I forget even what your first question was.
What was your favorite voice for video?
For anything. Yeah, I can't answer that because now I just want to say Jaina. But I feel like that's, you know, a little biased at this particular moment.
Fair enough. I mean, that's how you get to know.
Jaina, it's Jaina, it's Jaina. There you go. Yes.
Me?
Yes.
Hi. So I found that you were voicing a show called Ever After High at one point.
Yes.
Which I love, and I would watch it when I was like sick, and I know it might be like for children, but I used to be a nanny, and I love it. But as Travis has played in Sophia the First, and you've played in like Ever After High and things for like maybe more of a younger audience, are there roles that you really love playing, or roles that you would never play again? Do you worry about being typecast? Do you like playing diverse roles? How do you decide what roles to take on?
I audition usually, and if they cast me, then I'm like, yes. There are some projects that now I can say, you know, I'm not going to audition for that, and it's usually things that are a little more like questionable material, things that I don't agree with, maybe. Whereas in the past, I might not have had the opportunity to say no to something. So I'm grateful that I can do that now, because so much of being an actor is just like, just skating by, trying to get, you know, your next job. I usually enjoy, I enjoy playing villains, but they usually die or like get defeated, and then they're not in the story anymore. But being a villain is always fun because you get to be a punk. But then I also really like when my character has a romantic interest. And even if they don't, I will kind of just ship them with one of the other characters in the show. And just hope beyond hope that it happens. Like when I got cast as Black Widow, and Hawkeye was in the show too, I was like, come on, you guys, make it happen. Make this happen. And anytime, like, we'll be recording something, and it won't even be that, like, flirty or whatever, but then I'll see the animation, and they're, like, you know, fighting or something, and I'm like, yeah. And it looks, like, kind of flirty, and it reminds me of, like, the X-Men series from when I was a kid, and I'm like, yeah, Rogue and Gambit, you know what I mean? So, I guess that says what my preference is. I want my character to have a romantic interest. Yes, you. Mm-hmm.
2 quick questions. One, does Travis know they put your panel in a room 5 times the size of his?
Which I don't think they should have, because there was like a bunch of other like panels going on during this panel.
Oh, you gotta tell him this is all the way full to the back with people.
Oh man, I will. No, because I already texted him, because when I got here, the room was empty, and I didn't know that there was a line or anything. So I texted Travis, and I was like, man, my room doesn't have anybody in it. And he wrote back, ha 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 ha. Oh man.
And the other question is, what's the most difficult voice for you to actually do? What type of voice is the most difficult?
The most difficult type of voice is little boy voices. Specifically like the Trunks, or the worst one was Omochao, if you guys know who that is from.
Yeah, it's from Sonic.
Yeah. He's in the Sonic games.
Do it. Oh, God. So, his voice is right here, I think. I can't remember exactly. But, so it's raspy, but it's high, which is just the stupidest thing. And it was one of those situations, if you guys saw the video game panel yesterday, Allie mentioned auditioning for with a character voice that you can't necessarily maintain. And that was totally what happened. I auditioned for that role, and for like the 30 seconds of the audition, it was totally fine, and then I got cast, and I was like 15 minutes into the session, I'm like, I'm gonna die. I can't do this. I can't. And Jack Fletcher was my voice director, and he is this amazing director that not only does voice acting, but he does theatrical work, like, so he's very much into like your body posture and everything, and so he totally gave me free like voice lessons basically when I was doing that job, where he would like teach me how to stand and how to hold my head so that I could actually freaking sustain, and it totally worked, and he was a genius. But it is very difficult, and it's always super painful. Trunks is hard because it's that kind of a voice on top of like battle reactions. So like Trunks is right here, which isn't that bad because I've gotten used to doing it, but over 4 hours of doing it, and then he's like powering up. Man, it's fine for like the first 2 hours, but then as soon as I take a break, like for 15 minutes and then go back in the booth, it's just death. It's like your voice has gotten warmed up and then you let it cool down and then you get back in the booth and it's like, oh no. So. Yes. And I'm gonna drink some water because I did this to a boyfriend.
So I asked this at Travis's panel yesterday.
Okay.
But is there any pet peeves that he does that you get annoyed with? Like
what did he say?
He said dice.
Oh well, yeah, you know. Anything he does that I'm annoyed with, like in life?
Like nothing too bad, but like you know how some couples bicker and stuff, but not in serious fights. So.
Right. No, I'm sure. I'm just trying to think. I have like a noise thing. I feel like this is probably like it would annoy him more than it annoys me. But I have like a noise thing. So if like we're eating, I can't stand the sound of people eating. Oh, it just drives me crazy. So anytime we eat, if like there's silence, I'm like, turn the TV on. Or like,
yes, I'm like that.
Makes me crazy. So that is one of the things, but that's not really a pet peeve of mine that he has because everybody eats. I don't know. He'll sit in the couch instead of sitting on one of the seat cushions. He sits in the middle of the two seat cushions. That's a thing. And then I'm like, no, both of the seat cushions are squished, and I can't fix it because they're squished towards the middle. That's all. We have a pretty happy life. We don't fight that much. Yes.
Well, thank you for coming, first of all.
Yeah.
I'm currently on episode 64, Critical Role, so I only have about 200 hours.
Yeah, not much. You're so close.
I did want to ask, because I know the total, it's some obscene number of hours that, what is it like just to have been able to tell a continuing story over that much time?
It's so crazy. It's so crazy that we've actually been so consistent with it, and like, when Matt's, you don't know. Matt's back hurt like a couple weeks ago, and he actually, it was like the first time in all of the episodes that he had to he texted all of us and he's like, y'all, I don't think I can do this. And we actually had to cancel the show that day. And it was the first time it had happened in how many years are we, 2.5 years now? So that's so crazy. I am happy that we've been able to do it, and just kind of in disbelief about it. Thank you. there's so much coming up, you just wait. So much goodness. Hi, you're so cute.
Oh, thank you. I had this was similar to someone else's question, but like, I know that you had more of like an actor theatrical background, and so when you went into voiceover, did you know that you would end up more in like the video game sort of like cartoon area, or did you kind of go into voiceover being okay with doing like audiobooks or like kind of that sort of thing?
I didn't really have an idea of where voice acting would take me. In fact, when I started voice acting, you know, I was still in Dallas, and my focus was still like film and TV. It wasn't until I moved out to California and I realized how much voice acting variation there is, you know, because in Texas there was Funimation and there was ADV in Houston. Is that still around? No? But there was ADV in Houston. That it's like if I wanted to drive that far, I could work there. But there wasn't a lot of video games there. Like Gearbox wasn't really a thing when I was there. So like anime was all I could do, and anime is awesome. But it was like go to Funimation every day, and it's like an office building, and you get to like feel like it's an office job because it's like the same people, and you walk in and it's like. It felt very much like not the same as doing like TV or something where you go in and it's like this whole big crew and everything's crazy. So that's totally what I thought I wanted to do because I'm like, this is acting because I was stupid. And yeah, when I went out to California, it was like, oh, there's like these cartoons and this anime and that studio that does these video games and this studio, and it's like all over town, and you just every day you go to a different place, and it made me realize like what voice acting could be outside of like one studio, because you know working at one studio, they get to know these particular voices that you do, and that's what you keep getting cast as, and then out there it was like, oh, there's still all these people that don't have any idea what I sound like, and I can do whatever. I totally didn't answer your question. I didn't ever realize like what you could do in voice acting, so I guess I just wandered into it without expectation. There you go. I suck, you guys. I'm the worst answerer ever. I'm sorry.
I had one other question.
Okay.
If you knew a lot about like kind of the track of voice directors, I know you mentioned a voice director you worked with, and like if they had more of a background in like theater directing, or more of like they had done voices themselves and now directed others.
Yes, both. A lot of them come to it from working in theater, and a lot of them come to it from they were voice actors and now they're directing other actors because they know how to communicate that way. And you know, I've been asked to voice direct before. I voice directed at Funimation, and since I've been out to California, I've had a couple opportunities where they've asked me to voice direct. So that happens. And then there's other people that they came up through, you know, the days of like Hanna-Barbera and got trained as voice directors. And they are amazing at what they do, and because that's where their experience is and that's where their education is. And there's like a whole slew of directors that do it that way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, in the back.
You're Percy.
Yes.
You look great.
Thank you. I guess I don't really need a microphone.
You don't, but it's fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm a big fan of Serana in Skyrim.
Thanks.
Best
companion ever.
Seriously, I'm not even exaggerating. She was the only companion I ever had throughout my 20 playthroughs of that game. And my question is, what was it like working at Bethesda? And also, how did you enjoy playing a sassy vampire girl who would not, under any circumstances, stop complaining about the sun, even if it was night?
No, really? She complained about the sun when it was nighttime?
Every time I exited the door.
Really?
Oh, it's just so bright outside. It's 12 o'clock at night.
I don't remember that part. She was my companion too. I never had any other companions except for myself. Everybody else annoyed me because I was always playing like a really really stealthy character, and then they would just run into battle and give away our location. It was the stupidest thing. It was awesome playing her. It is awesome working for Bethesda. No, I didn't. That was one of the projects that I don't think I knew what I was working on the first couple sessions that I recorded, and then finally after like, okay, but what is it? Okay, but what is it? They finally told me. No, it was awesome. I'm such a fan of that franchise. Anytime I get to do a voice in a project that I'm a huge fan of, I like it a little bit more. Isn't that crap? I hope I don't like do a better job on those projects because like I want to play them, and so I'm like, I better do a good job or else I'll be annoyed with myself. But it's possible. It was weird when I was playing it because, I would be crouching down, but then I would hear myself getting hurt. And it was very confusing for me. Thank you. Yes.
It scares me, kind of.
To be on the mic?
Yeah, I'm behind the scenes for community theater.
Awesome!
But on Critical Role, I just want to say thank you for being so gracious and kind to opening your life and your world to us. It brings just so much joy and makes me feel braver for watching you guys battle just giant titans and creatures that are way beyond anything a regular person can deal with. But then it's like, oh, they can deal with that, and, Stanley's pooping in the corner. I can deal with what's in my life. So thank you for being so gracious in that. And then my actual question is, Travis is really into werewolves. Like, really, really into werewolves. And he expressed yesterday that if there's a werewolf campaign, he wants that. So if there's a supernatural campaign for you, like what creature or kind of urban myth type thing would you want to run or be in?
I mean, probably like a modern day like witch situation, because that's all like the book series that I love so much. Like the Hollow series. Have you guys read it? Oh my god, it's so good! It takes place in modern day and it's about this witch. Anyway, yeah, so probably that. I was thinking, I shouldn't tell you guys. No, it should be a surprise. It should be a surprise. But it's cool. So, get ready for it later. After your comment, I just want to say thank you guys for like joining us on all of that, because I know that we're like, on the screen and everything, and we're not actually like sitting with you guys playing, but it feels like we have a whole bunch of friends playing with us that aren't there like every game. And after every game I'll always go on Twitter and like go and see like what people are saying, and like because I want to like write back to people about the game, because it just feels like everybody was there with us, so thank you for that. Yes.
Kind of like two questions, like one's quick and one's might like, So I came here kind of late, so I don't know if maybe someone already asked this already.
Okay.
What's probably like the most rewarding thing about being a voice actor?
The most rewarding thing? Just getting to be a part of the industry that I love. I grew up with video games, and I would sit behind my dad while he played Doom and Half-Life, and I always played the Sierra games growing up, all of the Quest for Glory games and King's Quest, and never realized that it was something that I could be a part of. So knowing like what an impact it had on my life, and then thinking about that I can be part of that for somebody else, that feels really awesome.
And then my second question, like what are the differences, I guess, when it comes to working with video games versus anime? Or like, is there anything that voice directors maybe tell you to do differently?
No, it just kind of depends on what the clients want. I feel like the biggest difference with with anime and video games, it's actually pretty similar because you're in a room by yourself for the most part. With animation, like series that record out here, we'll record in a room with, a whole bunch of other people, so like the cast actually records together, and that's something that we can't do in anime or video games usually because of the nature of the dialogue and the nature of matching picture. But no, I feel like it's all like meshing together at this point, like Dragon Ball Z is a very specific style of recording for sure, but like Soul Eater, it's so cinematic, that recording, it's all very real and genuine, and so is video game recording now. Everything's moving towards this like cinematic real version of everything, and I think that's so awesome. Yeah, I guess the biggest difference, the thing that I do that is different than anything else is motion capture, which is where video games, a lot of them are going now. So a lot of the times, instead of just recording in a booth, I'll actually be, on a stage in a really attractive spandex outfit, and like going through the scenes real time. So that is turning into like more of a theater thing. It feels like this mix between film and theater because it's like just a little elevated beyond what you can do for camera, so it's really fun.
I mean, I play more video games than I do the watch anime, so if my friends are like, oh, you should watch more anime, but I'm like, I just play more video games. So.
You should watch more anime. And everybody else should play more video games.
Thank you.
Thank you. And everybody should watch Critical Role. Yeah. Yes, you. Mm-hmm.
So, we all know how much Matt loves Vax and Vex and how their names are so similar. With your guys' new characters coming up, have you got together and thought about pranking Matt and making your names all very similar?
Oh God, he would just murder us. I honestly think he would be like, no. Like he would say no.
When you're announcing them on screen, just have it completely different from what they're going to be and just,
He would kill us. That would just be the worst. Honestly, when we were creating Vex and Vax, we did not realize what a problem it would be. It was Vaxildan and Vexalia, and then as we kept playing, it was Vex and Vax. And sometimes I get it wrong. It's terrible. Yes.
I just wanted to say, it's not really so much of a question, it's just thank you, because this is Percy's my son, and it is watching Critical Role, and actually it kind of started with watching Full Metal Alchemist, which I didn't even know you guys voiced at the time, but it brought us together. It gives us a lot of mother and son time, and now we come to conventions like this.
Oh, that's awesome!
Anyway, just thank you and the rest of the cast of Critical Role, and it's so much fun, and it's kind of weird because I'm both watching the last. I caught up, but I'm watching the back episodes.
Oh, fun!
It's just kind of.
I started for episode 90 or something.
Oh, really? How was that, starting at episode 90? Is it weird?
Weird, but it was fine because he brought me up to speed. But then I started watching from episode 1 on my own. So now on that end, I'm up to episode 59.
Oh my
God!
Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Seriously, there would be nothing if we didn't have the community of people joining us for it. It really would just still be us, probably in Travis's house. So we would have gotten 10 episodes in, nobody's watching. Okay, well, we'll just go back home. Thanks. Yes. Are you Beetlejuice? Yes. Yes.
So I'm very new to playing D&D, and I was just wondering, what your first session ever was like.
Our first ever session, we came in with our names and our class and our race, and that's it. I knew I wanted a pet, so I had a bear. But outside of that, there was a little bit of texting back and forth about what it would be. Travis didn't even have his dang name picked out when we played our first game. We sat down and he was like, because Matt was like, go around and introduce yourself. he went, I'm grog. We're like, that's some alcohol. Okay, that's fine. And yeah, no, it was just so crazy. Like, I think because I had played so many RPGs on video games and stuff that I just had this like idea of what this world was going to be. And so as soon as it started, everybody was just kind of looking at each other like, whoa, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? And then as soon as we started talking, we like had accents and stuff. And oh man, Ashley, when she first like started playing with us, she looked around like as everybody was talking. She's like, oh no, are we all doing accents? She's like, I suck at a British accent. Is that okay? I'm like, just do you, fine, just do you. No, it was just funny and crazy and zany. And I think the very first game we had, we fought a giant baby. It was like a really gross like fetus monster baby. I don't know. Matt brought it out and it was this giant head thing. And I think, it's in the opening credits when we first did it. You know, we were telling our like backstory of what we were doing, and like Wendy drew like the gross baby thing. It was nasty. Yeah, it was just so much fun. We had intended it to be one game for Liam's birthday, and then we just had a blast with it. And you know, a little time went by, and Liam was like, "So, should we do that again? Should we do that again? Because that was really fun." And Matt was running another game at the time, so like we were just kind of hoping that he would have time to run this other thing with us, and it just kept going and kept going, and yeah, friends. Woo!
With the
Faith, yeah. How can you even? Are you Pepsi?
Yes, I'm Pepsi man. So I'm really impressed by all the ranges you can do. Like you can do for Resave in Persona 4, where it's that cutesy teenage girl voice, to like screaming Trunks. So I'm just wondering, like, how long did it take you to practice that?
I think it all came together over, you know, the years of doing voices and stuff. Oh gosh, I've been voice acting now for 18 years. Jeez. Which now makes sense why people come up and said, I watched you in my childhood, because it's been that long. Dang, that's crazy! No, like the first audition I ever did was for Trunks. So I had never thought about like what voice acting would be, or like how I would come up with voices or whatever, but I saw the picture of Trunks and I was like, what would a little voice sound like in cartoons? And so that is the voice that ended up coming out of my face, which I don't know why, that's the one I decided on. So that was the first thing I did, and I think having that be my first voice, which was so far from my normal range, it left that door open for exploring all the other ranges. I think if my first voice that I had done had been similar to my own, then I may not have done all of the voices that I do now. And plus, you know, I studied singing and everything. I studied musical theater, and anytime you're practicing increasing your range like that, you can bring that into voice acting as well, because, you know, it's always useful to be able to do Lust to Rize. So.
Thank you.
I'm sure you would make an amazing Rize. Pepsi Man, yes. Yes.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Can I get a high five?
Get up here.
Okay, has anybody played Lost Legacy? Uncharted Lost Legacy? Then you know how bad I am at high fives, okay. Yes! Third high five! We have a history, high fives. Yeah.
But I do have a question.
Okay.
And it's, I have not watched Critical Role, but I'm a huge fan of Titan's Grade.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, so what was it like, what's like the comparison there? Because Titan's Grade was just like a small group and like a short campaign, and then Critical Role, from my understanding, is like this long-ass campaign, like 10, 20 people playing. So like, what's going on?
No, okay, so Critical Role is, what are we, like 7 people? Something like that, a party of 8 people? I don't know. 7 people. There you go. So it's not like that big of a group difference. But I think with Titan's Grave, I mean, we could have kept going. You know, we had this short amount of time that we were filming, but all of us wanted to keep playing. And we were begging for a second season so that we could like see where those characters would go. Because I freaking love Lemley. I am so bummed that I only got to play her for that short amount of time because I just want to keep being her.
I based my own D&D character off of Lemley.
What'd you say? 5 gold at a party! And what did you say?
19. I based my own D&D character off of Lemley.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Do you have a Dr. Lobotomy?
So like my character is like a hunter and got mauled by like a bear, so now she has like a robotic arm and a robotic leg.
That's so awesome! Man, when we were creating those characters, it was like, they were like, okay, these are your choices, and I'm like, I want to be this, but I don't want to be a robot too. Can I combine them? And so I like made her have this like cyborg arm that like a blade retracts from, and I named the blade Dr. Lobotomy. She's so cool! So with Titan's Grave, we filmed it over like, I think it was 3 or 4 days of just like 12-hour days of just playing nonstop. And and then they took all of that footage and edited it down to the series. So that's like a big difference because, you know, any of our downtime where we were like, where should we go? Or where do you guys want to go shopping? You know, all of that got cut out. So it's like nonstop fun RP and action and stuff like that. Whereas Critical Role, like all of those really boring moments of like, I don't know what to do, that's still there. So you guys have to sit through that. I'm sorry. Anytime that's happening, I'm like, oh my God, they must be like switching the station right now. They must hate us. But that's one of those evils of just playing these kind of games, right? It's a necessary evil.
Sounds very fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But it's not boring. I did a really bad job selling it to you. You should watch it.
The only reason I don't watch it is because I don't have time.
Okay, it is a time-consuming thing. We were hoping. Can I say this? Well, okay. We're kind of hoping to be able to come up with something. I know we have the podcast now, so it's just audio. So if like you have long drives or something, you can listen to it on a podcast form, which is fun. So you can get caught up. But we're hoping that there's some way we can do like episode recaps, maybe episode arc recaps, so that people that are so far behind can like get caught up with like chunks instead of having to like watch 400 hours of show if they don't want to put in that time. So maybe someday, fingers crossed. Yeah. Oh, am I? I've got like 2 minutes left. Yeah, get up there. Yes, cat.
So for Dragon Ball Z, when you voiced Gotenks, were there 2 different voice actresses in the same time?
Yeah, no, we weren't together.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just wondering if the process was any different in a normal voice.
Yeah, the process is actually, so when we fuse, we're the same person, and then we have to have the same personality, but luckily for me, Gotenks have more of a Trunks personality. So that means that I got to record first, for the most part. And then Kara would come in and she would match my reads and she'd have to like listen to it over and over again and then say it, you know, like to the same timing. Which feels totally weird because sometimes I'd have to go in after I moved away and like Kara would record before me, so then I'd have to match her timing and everything, which is not that bad because it's like what I said in Saints Row. It's like that same sort of thing where you have to like match the timing and kind of add your own delivery to it even though they're the same person. But the battle reactions are really freaking hard when you're matching somebody else's timing. All of the little I have to do exactly that. It's hard.
So she basically had to copy you for all of that?
For the most part. Ha ha ha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh man, does that mean one more question and then I'm done? One more question. One more. Make it good. You. It better be so good.
So since you are such a big fan of actually like playing video games and RPGs and things like that, Are there any video game franchises or even like anime or cartoon franchises that you haven't been cast in that you really would love to work on? And if so, what character would you like to play?
Oh, geez.
Most of the franchises that I'm a huge fan of, I've been in, even if it's like a small part. But I would love to, and I've said it like so many times, I'm sure like BioWare, like, shut up, Laura, we've heard you. But I just love BioWare so much, and I would love to be like an actual companion character in one of those games, because then I could romance myself. I mean, I guess I kind of am, and shit. Yeah, Kira, that is a BioWare. Dang, I did it. I did it, guys, I made it! Woo! Thanks for joining me. I think we have an autograph signing right after this, and then we're heading to the airport, so.